All right. Baldur's Gate 3 proves modern gaming is getting worse. Plus, Western devs attack Larian Studios' success.
What's up, everyone? It's Endymion, and as you're probably aware, the hotly anticipated Baldur's Gate 3 has finally come out on PC, with the console
Oh,
versions
yeah.
releasing in September for us peasants such as myself. The game has been a
Same.
massive success story for Larian Studios, who has had one hell of a comeback the past decade with the Divinity Original Sin games, which I beat both of them, and yeah, I highly recommend them. Players are
Nice.
praising Baldur's Gate 3 due to its breadth of content, incredible branching paths of story, and character customization, to name just a few of the highlights of this landmark title. And its Metacritic and user score are not only surprising.
Bro, seldom have I ever seen in Metacritic, like the Metascore and the user score be so high and about the same. Like, this is crazy. This is 2023. Like, what is going on?
But insanely weird. With this game being one of the only big releases in years that I can think of anyway that has gotten this glowing of a reception. In a lot of ways, Baldur's Gate 3's success is to CRPGs what Elden Ring was to action open world RPGs. Sadly, both
Hmm.
Elden Ring and BD3 have a striking similarity amongst them as well. And it's not that they're both incredibly well made, offer loads of options, and have zero microtransactions.
It's not those things at all. Those are just pluses.
But that Baldur's Gate 3, like Elden Ring before it, over delivers on its promise, and this has worried and pissed off many developers at other gaming studios. When Elden Ring released, we had
Yeah, they have pissed off all of the big name AAA companies and all the AAA developer companies. They're just losing their shit, because here comes these other studios that aren't, they're not part of the boys. They're not part of the inner circle of the boys. Like, they can't, like, when you're part of like the circle or whatever, like, you can kind of, what is it called, influence the market on how much effort you can put into a game and how much you can charge a game for. And so, since Elden Ring and BG3 came out, um it's just returning to a time where games back in the day would always over deliver. And back in the day, games were what, 50 or $60. And a lot of the games, that I used to play when I was a little kid, uh, they would always over deliver, and I thought they were awesome. And over the course of time, as time goes on and on, what's the trend for AAA developers? The games have come out in a dog shit form. They say it's the released state of the game, but there's always a day one patch. There's microtransactions. There's a live service thing. There's paid cosmetics, so on and so forth. And it's just, people are sick and tired of it, man. And when another studio comes around and doesn't want to do that, and they're not part of the circle, you're just like a minority, essentially. It's like, oh my god, here comes like another studio. They're putting a high amount of effort into it, into the game. These guys don't know how to monetize. What are they doing? They could have made so much more money. Yeah, but look at how everyone is treating them. They look at their reputation. You know, you're just fucking pissed that you guys. The AAA dev scene seems so pissed that now, who knows? Who knows what they're gonna do now? Honestly, So like, are they gonna put like way more effort into more games? Because last time I checked, D4 ain't doing so good. For Blizzard, a lot of the Assassin's Creed games ain't doing so good. They're just copy paste. What else? Halo ain't doing so good. Like, what's happening?
Had Horizon Zero Dawn and Ubisoft employees complaining they
Destiny.
couldn't understand why fans were so crazy about Elden Ring. Elden Ring was attacked because it was full of content and had more gameplay options than anything else on the market. It was also attacked because it didn't hold players' hands and gave more content than Western devs were used to delivering. Basically, they hated Elden Ring because it was a true video game that cared about its consumers. Which is something sadly a ton of Western games these days regretfully just can't understand.
Yeah. The more you monetize your game and make it a live service, the perception is the less you care about the players. Now, granted, there will probably be a couple outliers. Um, how long has League of Legends been out? Forever. How long has, I don't know, Counter-Strike been out? A long time. Valorant. These games have a lot of microtransactions in them, but they were released that way, and it's generally accepted for those type of games to, come out and be like live service or whatever. But they're heavily competitive. There's like good anti-cheats and things in place. There's a good like competitive scene for most of them, and yeah.
And like that game, Baldur's Gate 3 is in similar hot water amongst the creative types. According to GameWorldObserver.com with their article titled, "Why Devs Consider Baldur's Gate 3 Anomaly Not New Standard for RPG Genre, It's Rockstar Level Nonsense for Scope."
They're saying that this is not the standard because they just don't want to have to put more effort into making their stupid ass copy paste games that nobody wants to buy. All right, that's the only reason they're saying that.
A lot of this discourse started where an indie game developer named Xavier Nelson Jr. tweeted that BG3's success will only harm the future releases of other games due to its quality. He said things such as, "Like a lot of people, I'm deeply excited about what the lovely folks at Larian accomplished with Baldur's Gate 3, but I want to gently, preemptively push back against players taking that excitement and using it to apply criticism or a raise standard to RPGs going forward."
No. Bro, shut the fuck up. Like, here. Op. Like, this this was like the standard. No, that's bucket. Where's like pencil? Okay. It's like, this is time. This is quality. Quality. Sure. And okay, this is 2023. This was like, I don't know. Fucking, I don't know what. 1990. All right. Like, games started off like, this is like a 0 right there. Like, games started off like this. As time went on, they kind of went like this. And then they kind of peaked. All right. And then as time goes on, the more monetization comes out. Oh, Battle Pass came out. Live service came out. Paid cosmetics came out. Pay for convenience came out. Pay to win came out. Mobile games. Oh, shit. And then all of a sudden, Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate. Oh, we're raising the standard again. Oh, my God. All right. That's what is happening. Or at least what I've been seeing, for the longest time. I've been playing fucking video games for fucking ever, dude. It's like, oh, this is a raised standard. You can't apply this to any other game. Oh, that's because you don't want to, dude. You don't want to put the time and effort into it. You just want to put out some fucking dog shit copy paste bullshit and get paid for it, calling it brand new.
This is not a new baseline for RPGs, this is an anomaly. Trying to do the same thing in the same way, especially without the same advantages, could kill an entire group of studios.
Okay. I will say he kind of breaks it down into like genres or whatever. I can kind of agree with him, like, because like you can only innovate so much for like fighting games. I know Street Fighter, was it 6 came out recently, and everyone's like, loving Street Fighter 6 or whatever for the most part. Um, there's been a couple other fighting games that have come out, but like, how much can you innovate with fighting games? Much the same way with like FPSs, you know? Like, honestly, I am so jaded for FPSs. Like, there's been so many games that have came out and have just died simply because there was no anti-cheat system. The devs don't play their game. They have no idea how to play. They're not good at aiming or anything like that. And because of that, everybody has just been too afraid to like make something new. And it's boring and it sucks.
So please celebrate the achievement represented by Baldur's Gate 3. It looks like a massive amount of effort is about to pay off in a big way for one of the brightest voices in the medium. But if you shout that every RPG should be like this going forward, you have no excuse. You've not just missed the point, you've created the expectations and conditions to ensure your favorite creators may never be able to give you the thing you love ever again.
This also, okay, this is kind of true in some respects, but also not true in other respects. So like, there's a ton of different RPGs, all right? You don't have to like every RPG that comes out just because it's an RPG, all right? Even the word RPG has a bunch of different like subcategories, that you can break it up into. You can like one subcategory and not like another subcategory, all right? It's okay to do that. But to say that you don't have to deliver like quality, like a high quality game, is stupid.
Then you have other game devs like James Berg who also said things about Baldur's Gate 3. I would not be surprised if this was more dev effort than the next 2 or 3 games in the genre combined. It's Rockstar level nonsense for scope. Only a few studio groups could even try this. I cannot wait to play, but this kind of effort likely won't be replicated this decade.
Bro, what? Let me go back. Only a few studio groups could even try this. What? I have no idea really about like what Larian did before Baldur's Gate or whatever. But I don't know if like Larian, I don't know what kind of funding they got. I don't know what their reputation was before Baldur's Gate or whatever. But were they like a AA or a AAA dev? I'm not sure. But like, to say that any of like the big names like Blizzard, Ubisoft, Bungie, what else? What am I missing? I'm probably missing a shitload. To say that those companies that rake in billions of dollars year on year can't create something like this is stupid. Is actually stupid.
Few studio groups could even try this. I cannot wait to play, but this kind of effort likely won't be replicated this decade. While I understand BG3's success and scope would make an indie studio shudder since there's no way they can achieve that level of sheer content, I think people like Xalavier and James are also kind of what's wrong with Western gaming lately as well. I don't need to tell you that currently right now, there's a lot of garbage coming out of Western studios.
You're right about
There's
that.
far too many live service games with microtransactions, battle passes, or games launching that barely even work and constantly crash. Just look at Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah, the game will crash, but the store will be up 100%. You know? It'll log you out, you'll go in, you'll go back in queue. The game, you'll get back into the game, and then you'll get into the store, and the store works completely fine. Store works perfectly. All right, Battle Pass, great. Store, great. You want to flip through the little menus and all the skins and all the gun skins and all the character skins, all the charms, the stickers, the what else? The emotes, the little whatever the fucks. Those work. That thing works flawlessly. All right. Actual game can crash at the breath of a. If someone goes the wrong way, that shit is going down. 404. You want to send a error report? No, just fix the game.
When that released on PC, the game was a mess. And it had the backing of a massive game company and Disney, and it was based on one of the largest IPs in the world. Yet even then, PC players were given a broken game and expected to pay full price to play it anyway. I think we can all agree that when it comes to modern gaming, for the most part, when you buy a game on release, there's a really good chance you're basically buying a game to be a beta tester.
Yeah, that is true. If you were to ask me, bet on whether or not like a game comes out and I know the studio that made it, whether or not the game would work on day one with 0 bugs, I would 100% put my money on the game will have so many bugs, so many game-breaking issues. It's ridiculous. That's what I would bet on every time.
Of course, there are some games that release that both work well and have the polish that players expect for the money that they spend. Final Fantasy XVI is a great example of this, alongside Elden Ring and BG3. These games all actually deliver on what they promise, and in my opinion, they also justify their price tags. But there's also this weird mantra when it comes to modern video games, which is that it seems like game devs purposely try to not over-deliver, because they don't want to give more content or polish than they think that they need to. I think the real reason why devs have unanimously agreed on this bizarre don't over-deliver tactic is because it creates a baseline to give thousands of devs room to release games of varying quality that either work fine or not at all at release, and this is just how things are, apparently.
Dang. That's how it is? That's the mindset in general for a lot of the AAA devs? That sucks, man. That really sucks. Whatever happened to like putting all your effort into like the one game, you know? Let's say you're a studio and you got a couple IPs and you're like trying to get one of them to pop off. Whatever happened to like putting everything you could like think into just the game to make it good? Like what? I would love to hear the entire thought process behind why they arrived at that statement. Never over deliver, always under deliver, and leave them wanting more. I would love to hear like the thought, like the reason why.
But I personally believe that this mentality is encouraged because it allows game studios to deliver less content while still reaping the rewards. A great example of this actually is the whole Destiny 2 controversy right now. In case you don't know about that, Bungie released a state of the game where they basically confirmed that they were all but dropping core game modes, and would no longer be adding new armor sets to the game every season because of low adoption rates, according to Bungie. But fans quickly pointed out that the armor that has low adoption rates usually looks like ass, since all the actual good sets and weapon skins are all placed behind Eververse, which is...
Oh my god, these guys... Was this like Assassin's Creed thing? Like all the Assassin's Creeds, but in Destiny or whatever? What are these paid skins? These are probably paid skins. I'm just gonna go out and just guess. These are probably paid. And these look way better than that bullshit that he showed a couple seconds ago, for sure. No kidding, there's a fucking low adoption rate, because all the cool stuff is pay. Is pay to look cool, you know? Whatever happened to playing the game and getting good at the game to get the reward from the game? Oh no, we can't do that. We can't gatekeep good content behind skill checks or whatever. Like, okay, good luck getting players to stay and play your game then.
Is Destiny 2's microtransaction store. Bungie also said that making games is hard and players should be more realistic with their expectations. They also stated,
yeah, get realistic with your expectations. You know what's been happening for the last, like, what, 20, 30 years? Your expectations are going down. You want to be realistic? Expectations are going down. All right? That's what my expectation is.
During a games developer conference that over-delivering can hurt your game and set patterns that make future content unable to deliver. Bungie even believes previous releases like the Witch Queen expansion to be an example of over-delivering. Yet players loved that expansion because it not only added new game mechanics, it had a good raid and an excellent story. It actually felt worth the money that you spent on it. Then you fast forward to this year's release with Lightfall, and the community's nuclear reaction to it was the opposite of Witch Queen. Lightfall
Oh,
felt pointless, rushed, had a terrible story and campaign, and besides a new subclass, it's largely considered a blight on Destiny's history. But to
dang.
Bungie, Lightfall falls in line with what
I never
fans
played this.
should expect. But the problem here is that Lightfall has less content than Witch Queen, but it was also sold for a higher price than Witch Queen as well. Meaning Bungie effectively gave their player base less content of a much lower quality and made more money
Oh
in the
my
end.
god.
It's a win for the studio
So what does that do? That sets a precedence for them in the future to also under-deliver in the future. Because they got away with it this time, we can probably get away with it the next time.
financially, but Bungie instead paid the price with a loss of credibility, player satisfaction, and now with this state of the game nonsense, the community's faith in Bungie is at an all-time low now. But in terms of what devs like Xalavier and James said previously, what Bungie did by under-delivering is seen as good in their eyes, yet it's opposite for the paying customer. It honestly seems like consumers and devs are at a crossroads where both parties have wildly different expectations of the other. And with Baldur's Gate 3's massive
I mean, well, here's a tip, gamers. Stop being spineless and stop paying money for dogshit content. You ever thought about that one?
release with its over-delivering and sheer amount of content and quality, it's the exact opposite of Destiny's Lightfall. Fans are happy to buy BG3 because it respects their time and money and doesn't constantly ask players to buy nonsense like weapon skins or armor constantly. But to devs, they hate it because it doesn't fit into this new age model of what games should be. I also find it interesting that when
New age model of, oh Jesus, sorry.
Destiny releases
New age model of modern gaming. Every game is a live service. Every week we update the store. Every week we update the armor skins, the gun skins, the stickers, the emotes, the holograms, the so on and so forth. And we release new cosmetic bullshit for you to buy. This is what modern gamers want. That's what they really think in their heads.
is a crap expansion, a lot of these devs are silent. But whenever a game actually meets audience expectations like Elden Ring or BG3, they unanimously assemble to tear these games down. The simple truth is that devs don't want Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3 to become the norm because they don't want the norm to become over-delivering.
Oh my god. Bro, I hope the people that played like Elden Ring and are playing Baldur's Gate 3, I hope they replay the shit out of that game and replay it again and again and again. I hope people get their money's worth out of it tenfold. All right? You beat the game as like one class, replay it again as another class. You beat it again, replay it again as another class. So on and so forth. Replay the shit out of these games, dude.
But the truth is that today's over-delivering was 10 or 20 years ago's industry standard. It's likely why we haven't seen a new Elder Scrolls in forever, because a game like Skyrim, if it were released today as a brand new game, in terms of scope, content, story, and so
Oh my god, please. Please do not ruin the next Elder Scrolls installment. Please. Morrowind was, you know, a great over delivery. What was one after Morrowind? Oblivion was an over delivery. Skyrim was an over delivery. Please, God, do not let the next installment not be an do not let it be an under delivery. For Christ's sake. Oh my god.
on, these same devs would attack it because it would be over-delivering in their words.
Yeah.
Other devs like Spellforces 3's Rebecca Harwick said, "This whole thread, you can't be appalled about how much big games cost to make, and make those lavish productions the standard by which all games are judged. I hope Baldur's Gate 3 is..."
Well, here's another good thought question. Baldur's Gate 3, would that come out as like a $70 game? Right? I think. Do you think they would have, if they would have bumped it up to like maybe 75 or $80, do you think it still would have been as successful even though, understandably, the higher the cost of the game, the less people essentially have access to it. Because not gonna lie, a $70 game is really asking a lot, like out of people. $70 is a lot of money. Okay, do you think they would have been like all the AAA devs would have been more accepting if it was like 75 or $80?
It's a generous once-in-lifetime RPG. I hope no one expects a 10, 20, 40 person team to make one. But I think these devs are taking the wrong lessons from Baldur's Gate and Elden Ring. We understand that not every game will be utterly massive like the Lands Between. But I think more so than anything, players want games to have quality be the utmost importance to devs. Elden Ring alone has more combat and weapon options than multiple AAA games combined. Baldur's Gate 3 has more cutscenes and replayability than the greatest of roguelikes. They don't want these games to become the norm, because if they do, it'll expose their games for being shitty and greedy.
Well, here's the thing. The games that have been exposed as being shitty and greedy have already been exposed as being shitty and greedy. So it's not like it was mask off when this came out, when BG3 came out. It was mask off when the shitty games came out on their own day one. With the store that works perfectly and the game that crashes on day one and the day one patch. Those games were mask off on day one. It didn't take another game for the shitty game to go for me to know like that's a shitty game.
And that's what this is all about. They don't want players to expect actual quality games because it means these devs have to do more than the bare minimum when it comes to making them. And the Rockstar level nonsense line is also tone deaf, since yet again, devs are hating on games that are far more profitable and quality made than their own. Sure, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a cash cow full of microtransactions, but at least at its core, I think people will agree that it's a quality product. It looks great, it has a huge world with tons of content, and the physics and everything within it work both to great and hilarious effect.
Yeah, I think the base game of, was it GTA 5? Or was it 6? Shit, I don't know. Yeah, the base game I thought was pretty good. I thought it was worth it. GTA 5 was like the first GTA I played. And I don't know, I think I put like 100 hours into that thing. And that was like a $60 game back in the day. Like when it first came out. I was like, oh, this is not that bad.
They're tearing down Baldur's Gate 3 because it proves that games can still be great and profitable. But BG3 is also an anomaly in today's world because today's games are largely unfinished, unplayable messes at release. Or they underdeliver on purpose while charging more like Destiny does. And it seems like Larian is already in the crosshairs of the mega corpos since Larian CEO Sven Vick confirms that Microsoft has approached them about buying the entire company. But
Microsoft trying to buy out Larian. What is that gonna mean when Larian takes the offer? Is that gonna mean that they're just gonna another game studio that this happened to, I think, was BioWare. Because like old BioWare came out with what was it? The Shock game, what was it? BioShock 1, 2, and 3 or whatever. And I loved BioWare. And didn't BioWare make like Mass Effect 2? Or like Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 or whatever? Like I loved playing BioShock and Mass Effect. But then what was it? Like EA, I think, bought BioWare. And then after that, BioWare just turned into shit. So is that going to be the same thing that happens to Larian?
But Swen assures fans Larian will stay independent, saying, "I'm getting older, but I'm certainly not done yet.
Good.
The strength of this company is that I'm very invested in the gameplay, and I also make the ultimate decisions. We can do things in service of the games we're making." With Swen clarifying that his problem with mega corpos is that profit is always more important than gameplay or quality, and that Baldur's Gate 3's reception is proof that Larian cares about its players and their reputation far more than just milking them for eternity. And really, how many game devs these days can you really say have that same mentality? Chasing the bag seems to be all these AAA studios do these days. Besides Bungie milking their player base and then crying saying making games is too hard, you have BioWare, who used to be like Larian until they
Oh, making games is too hard, eh? Good thing AI came out.
stopped making games like Mass Effect, and decided it was time for the studio to make a live service game, which is how Anthem came to be. This cultural and tonal shift in modern gaming has honestly ruined a lot of these companies. I wouldn't be surprised if the original Mass Effect trilogy by today's standards is also over-delivering in modern game devs' eyes as well. It seems like every great game that actually tries to be a fun game first is more a problem than the tsunami of free-to-play nonsense out there. They simply do not want quality and sheer quantity of content to be the norm. They want to gaslight people and make them feel sorry for the devs while also charging insane prices for games that secretly make every paying customer into a beta tester. To be real with you, it's just so tiring. Larian warms my heart since when you look at whether Baldur's Gate 3 has any microtransactions, on the official store it says, "There are no in-game purchases in our game. We believe in providing a complete and immersive gaming experience without the need for additional purchases. Enjoy the game to its fullest without any additional costs or microtransactions." Like,
Dang.
what the hell, right? This should be the...
That's crazy for them to say that. And honestly, if the game was this good just as a base game, I honestly don't think people would mind if Baldur's Gate came out with like an expansion or like a big ass DLC that adds like, you know, like how like Skyrim had like Shivering Isles or whatever, which was like a whole new zone with like a story and so on and so forth. They could probably come out with another one of those things to like tack it on and be like, here's another side thing for like 30-40 bucks and it's the same level of quality. People would not mind that, you know?
the standard going forward, but it isn't. It's insane that in 2023 there's a big budget AAA RPG game that not only respects its players but also their wallets. This game honestly doesn't feel real, so it's no wonder why other devs hate it. And it's incredibly eye-opening when you place BG3 up against other huge RPGs this year like Diablo 4, which not only has premium battle pass but also...
Okay, Diablo 4 is like a dead and beaten horse, alright? We know the game is bad. D4 bad. We know it. Leave Diablo 4 alone. They've been through enough torture already.
An entire online store full of sets that cost as much as entire video games. Yep. Diablo 4 also got into trouble when the first season of that game went live because the devs on purpose placed the button to buy their premium battle pass directly where players access the map, with the pass being bought without any confirmation. So likely thousands of
shady gameplay mechanics.
The players of Diablo 4 mistakenly bought the battle pass by accident, and no, Blizzard will not refund those who did it. Don't you just love these modern gaming companies?
Modern
gaming. The disrespect
gaming
of modern gaming doesn't even end there, since Red Dead Redemption just got an official release on Switch and PS4. The game is $50 American at launch, and oh, by the way, this is a re-release. That's all it is, a re-release.
Oh yeah.
This version of Red Dead is the exact same game back on the Xbox 360 and PS3. There's no visual enhancements, no 60 FPS, or added bells and whistles. Rockstar literally just released the same game as it was over 10 years ago for almost the same price as Baldur's Gate 3 at launch.
Oh my god. That's actual dog shit. Rockstar is so stupid. There's no way. Like, the only way Rockstar has like an ability to come back is the next GTA. That's it. And even then, why would they deviate from their current business practices of under-delivering?
So when I say that these companies and their studios don't value their customers, I truly do mean it. They do not care about you at all. You are just a consumer born to pay for stuff until you die in their eyes. And that is why Baldur's Gate 3 is so hated by these modern game developers. because it could have easily been designed to fleece its audience with predatory microtransactions or pay to win nonsense. And the user reviews speak for themselves. I mean, come on, just read any one of these
Tens
for
on
confirmation. This one especially, which says Larian and From Software are the only two studios that I trust. I agree with Raiden here as well. There's not many devs I would say I openly trust anymore when it comes to them delivering quality products. And the list of studios gets smaller every year, the more predatory and greedy they become. So if you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, I hope you enjoy it. I hope people continue to reward and play games that actually genuinely are designed to be the best experience possible. And if you want another game I think that falls in line with games like Baldur's Gate 3 or Elden Ring in terms of quality and content, maybe give Chained Echoes a look sometime. It's cheap and has more content and love put into it than most AAA RPGs. I'm not even kidding. But these games should not be anomalies but the standard. So please keep playing, push back, and let these studios know their lazy attempts at normalizing shit games will not stand. Vote with your wallet, friends.
Yes.
That's really all you can do. So thank you for watching. Subscribe for more in the future. Like the video to help the channel out. Have a great day. Enjoy video games. And I'll see you in the next one.
Nice. What a video. That shit was actually goated, man. That was so good. Yeah, I mean, BG3 deserves all the love in players that you know that come from it, you know. If you have BG3, just replay the shit out of it because it has that level of replayability. And this was a great video. I like this. I mean, I haven't played BG3 yet, and I am probably going to eventually. But yeah. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Great video, man. I want to see more. That's pretty much it. All right. Take it easy, guys. Later.